Welcome to the latest edition of Inside Carolina. I'm your host, Hannah Horn, a proud alumna of the university. And we heard you, Upstate Gamecocks. We're joining you on the road this month from Greenville, South Carolina. In this episode, we're going to talk to a Greenville-based alumnus who has a really cool, interesting, wide-ranging career. We'll also visit the School of Medicine Greenville to talk about new ways doctors are being trained. And we'll also update you on a civil rights initiative happening on the Columbia campus. So join us as we go inside Carolina, Greenville style. You may not recognize our next guest's name, but you will recognize some of Beau Welling's projects. Through his company, Beau Welling Designs, he has designed some of the world's most beautiful golf courses and been a part of land planning projects like here at Camperdown Plaza in downtown Greenville. We talked to him about his time at Carolina and what set him on his path. When we think about talking to a Greenville alumnus who has had an impactful, interesting, innovative career, we had to come by and visit Beau Welling. Beau, thanks so much for joining us on Inside Carolina.
Thanks, Hannah. It's great to have you guys here.
We were at the Camperdown Plaza a little while ago, and what a project. Among your favorite projects you've worked on, what ranked kind of the top 5?
Well, we've been very fortunate to work on lots of great, incredible projects, and our main core business is really in golf and community development, but we've started to get more and more involved with these urban projects, and Camperdown has been a super special one. I'm a native of Greenville, and this is really at the heart of Greenville, South Carolina, and so that for us to be able to come back and get involved on this very historic site and create sort of a more modern version of living, working, and playing has been super special.
We love seeing that Carolina logo on your shirt.
Yep.
Tell me about your time at South Carolina and the pride that you have in being an alumni.
Sure. As I travel around the world, I try to explain to people that if you're from South Carolina, you're either a University of South Carolina person or that other place person. And I was very fortunate to grow up in a big South Carolina family. My grandfather was a graduate of the University of South Carolina. My mother was a graduate. And I had the opportunity to be a part of the MIBS program, the Master's in International Business Studies program. That grounding at the University of South Carolina was very important for me to be able to do what we're doing now.
Even in your work in golf and development projects, your ties to the university are still extremely strong. Tell us ways that you continue to get involved in the Gamecock family.
Well, I have a deep love for the University of South Carolina and what it means to our state. I love our state, and as the flagship university here, I just anything I can do to help it become better and better. And we were fortunate to, along the years, have helped with different golf practice facilities, including the current facility, which is just there below Williams-Brice. I have a stepson that's a freshman. It's very exciting to see the university through his eyes, but it's a place that when anybody from the university calls, that phone call gets returned fairly quickly.
You have branched out from golf to another sport that I think would surprise a lot of South Carolinians. Tell me about your role in the world of curling.
Yeah, so curling is a Winter Olympic sport that is played on ice, and interesting, is an ancient Scottish sport. And so to this day, it's very obvious to me that golf and curling come out of the same sort of Scottish ether. Angles are important in both. They both have weird jargon and terms. They're camaraderie based. They're games of honor and values, and some might argue they both are excuses to drink scotch. But in 2018 in Budapest, I was elected to the board of the World Curling Federation, so one of 8 people governing the sport of curling on the planet. In Lausanne, Switzerland, I was elected to become the president of the World Curling Federation. So it's quite an honor, it's quite a responsibility, but I'm super excited about the sport of curling as well as golf, and they have some similarities in that they are sports that sort of bring people together, and I think that the world would be a better place if there were more curlers and more golfers, because there's an inherent sense of values and fairness that both sports really promote.
Maybe we can get a Gamecock team of curlers.
We should. I need to get you out on the ice, Hannah. You might be a natural.
I'm gonna be a natural,
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Like other states, South Carolina has had its share of chronic health problems, but the University of South Carolina is working to address those challenges. This month, we visit the School of Medicine Greenville to learn about the innovative ways it's training the doctors of the future. We spoke with Phyllis McGilvery, the Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, to learn more.
So as you may know, the School of Medicine Greenville was founded in 2012, and at that time we really wanted to impact the state of health for South Carolina in a big way. Part of the way that we wanted to do that is with our curriculum in lifestyle medicine that begins in the first year and goes throughout the entire 4 years through pre-clinical rotations as well as clinical rotations.
Students at the School of Medicine Greenville receive early, rigorous clinical training delivered through a curriculum developed in partnership with Prisma Health, the region's largest care provider.
Our clinical physicians that teach our students are Prisma Health physicians. Many of them, just like myself, are board certified from the American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. And in that we did the required coursework as well as took an exam to become board certified, knowing that this was an essential part of our curriculum for our clinical students.
The school is the first U.S. medical school to fully incorporate lifestyle medicine into all 4 years of its medical school curriculum.
Believe it or not, a lot of medical schools don't put a lot of time into nutrition education, for instance. We make it a thread of our curriculum from the very beginning all the way through as a way of emphasizing the impact that nutrition has on greater health.
As part of a White House initiative, the school is working to spread its lifestyle curriculum to other medical schools.
Dr. Jennifer Trilk, one of our foundational faculty here with the medical school in Greenville, was invited to the White House for the White House's Conference on Hunger and Nutrition, the first time they've held that conference in 50 years. And part of the reason for that is the understanding that we are impacting curricular changes as it relates to teaching medical students about nutrition, physical exercise, as well as other components of lifestyle medicine.
We spoke with medical student Blake Jones to learn why that training is so important.
I was very well prepared by the coursework that I took at USC, to say the least. My bio major in particular, a lot of the upper level classes at USC in the biological sciences program are very research focused. So having exposure to that prior to getting to medical school was paramount in my success that I've had so far.
Jones first learned of the school's EMT training when he was an undergraduate at USC in Columbia.
I was actually fortunate enough to volunteer at Disaster Day, which is basically the culmination exercise that the school puts on with Prisma Health, which is the hospital system here in Greenville that we're affiliated with. It's basically this big EMS-driven activity where a simulated disaster happens at the school, and the first-year medical students who just finished their EMT curriculum are the first responders to that event. And I got to see all of those medical students acting as EMTs firsthand, and was actually a recipient of the care that they were giving. And I remember being there that day thinking, wow, one, they all work together as a team so well. It's like these people have known each other for years when really they just really started taking classes together. But beyond that too, I was just impressed with the maturity that they showed and the amount of competence that they had as well in their ability to give care, triage their patients, and then talk me down. And so this was something that I brought with me all throughout my applications, and just knew that an EMT program like that was something I wanted to be a part of. And it absolutely swayed my decision in coming here.
He says the school's approach will be invaluable in his future career.
That's something that I'm very proud to have gotten here at Greenville, because a lot of medical students hear that we do these EMT rides, they hear that we got this EMT training, and they're like, wow, we don't know how to do any of that, because in practice, doing a lot of the skills that they tell you about in class is completely different. And so having a program like our EMT program here that really conditions you and trains you to be able to thrive in an environment like that is just paramount to our success. And I can't imagine being a medical student without that training, because I really think it's prepared me and the rest of my classmates for what lies ahead, both on rotation, but also as physicians in the future once we leave here.
There's so much happening in the Gamecock family, and we love sharing their news with you. Here are a few highlights. The university's men's basketball program opens a new chapter this season with head coach Lamont Paris and Gigi Jackson. Paris laid out his vision for the team in a press conference on October 12th.
Yeah, Started practice up a couple weeks ago, and really happy to be into the thick of things as far as practice goes. Like our group, like what we're trying to do. Anytime you're implementing a whole new system and a change in philosophy, there are a lot of challenges that come with that. And so I really like where this group is in terms of trying to get accomplished the things that we value and are going to value and trying to get accomplished. I'm really happy with that.
The university announced a new endowed professorship funded by Boeing. Professor Bobby Donaldson will serve as the James E. and Emily E. Clyburn Endowed Chair of Public Service and Civic Engagement. The USC women's basketball team has been ranked #1 in the AP Top 25 poll. The team won its second national championship in April. In September 1963, 3 black students registered for classes at the University of South Carolina, becoming the first 3 African American students to attend classes since Reconstruction. Last month, the Board of Trustees selected a sculptor to commemorate this historic moment on campus. We spoke with one of those students, Henri Monteith Treadwell, and sculptor Basil Watson.
On September 11th, 1963, 3 students stepped out of the Osborne Administration Building and walked across campus to register for classes, becoming the first black students to attend the University of South Carolina since Reconstruction. Earlier this year, the university's Board of Trustees approved the creation of a permanent statue on campus to commemorate that historic moment.
It's very exciting. I am delighted that the university trustees and the university have committed to this sculpture, because I think we still have a need to educate everyone, adults and students and young people, about what happened.
I am honored that the university would choose me to take on a task of this magnitude. Art has always been that vehicle for expressing the values of a community. Here we have the maquette for the monument, a quick sketch in 3D of the larger concept. All my sculptures are about heroes, more ordinary heroes. So I think this plays into that. My hope is that it inspires others to find that hero within themselves.
It should, and I think it will, make people think about the added value of the actions that took place 60 years ago, and it's still being demonstrated. I think if we use the sculpture not as a period, but as a comma, then maybe we have a chance to continue to move forward.
Well, that's all for now. Thank you, Greenville Gamecocks, for hosting us in your beautiful city. If you like this episode, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and fellow Gamecocks. We'll see you next time on Inside Carolina.